This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenrail radio playlist. zenrailclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Pornian Bakery. If you're located in the Pornian area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Pornian Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great, you know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself. Definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone can podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. Like trying to figure out the best lighting. I want one of those ring lights, you know what I mean? To make it look cooler. Okay, all right, so we started. Sorry for being a little late. I had to get this out. You know when like an idea hits you and you're like, dude, I just gotta put this out there. Or maybe it's like a creator thing where I'm just like,
Sure.
if I don't get this out, I feel like I'll lose like this like bit of inspiration. So I was driving back from my parents' place to like do the podcast with you, and it hit me because like it was kind of hitting me while I was driving through Scarborough, but it's weird because it's almost like you're like baking a cake. Your experiences in life kind of like are the ingredients, and then like it's like ding, it's done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like you don't. I guess you do know. I'm not a baker, so I don't really know. But you know what I'm trying to say? It's like you don't know when it's gonna like all click, and then you're like, oh, that's the answer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So okay, so you know how I've been like in the past, I was like so stoked on like Persistence Academy and like, okay, this is how it's gonna work, and like this is the ethos and all that stuff, and then it just fell apart because the people that I was with were like not the right people, and like when you want to, it's almost like it's like a Steve Jobs thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? If no one creates it, you just create it yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And like that's why I feel like I've been going on this long journey of martial arts. You know, like why do you have so many black belts? Why do you keep learning from different teachers? I'm like, because I'm not finding what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for this like ideal of like benevolence and true warriorship and like generosity, like basically the Bushido code, right?
Mhm.
Like everything that they teach you in like film and like textbooks, right? We don't have that in our society now. And I was recently talking to you about this, and it was just like it keeps coming up. It's commercialization. You know, even
Mhm.
like Faraz Zahabi talked about it, right? He's like, oh, the whole martial arts industry is commercialized now, right? Like karate gets watered down, and like because nobody really wants to like fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
nobody really is like looking for that truth, right? Whereas I am. And for me, that's like why, like we talked about in the last podcast, authenticity. If you're not gonna be authentic with it, what's the point? Like what we LARPing, bro? We're just gonna like put on
Mhm.
these costumes and be like, you know what I'm saying? And that was the thing about the first martial arts studio where I was like, oh, we're just LARPing.
Mhm.
You know, we're like acting like these martial artists, but we have no skill. You know, like sure I can like do this crazy kick, but I'll never land it.
Right.
You know, I might, but like after like years and years of practice. And then that's the thing that got me into jiu-jitsu, where it's like, oh, you don't need years and years. You just need the right moves, right? And
Mhm.
like nobody can stop you. But then I realized that like, so when jiu-jitsu started, they all fought in challenge matches to prove the art of jiu-jitsu. Okay, so like the creator Helio Gracie, and most people who practice this don't even freaking know this, and that's so frustrating to me because it's like, do your history, bro. Like read your books. You know, they're like, because I'll be in like some gyms, and then they'll be like, this isn't even jujitsu. I'm like, bro, this is the actual jujitsu. Or you're like slapping each other, and I'm like, well, why am I hitting you, bro? It's jujitsu doesn't involve strikes. Every time I hear that, I'm like, all right, obviously you're ignorant. Like
Mhm.
you're ignorant to the martial arts. If you read the book, like that's literally why he started it, right? He wanted to prove to his students that it was effective. That's why he fought. he wasn't trying to win prize. Well, his brother was trying to win prize money, but he like Helio Gracie. He was just like, no, this is really gonna work, and that's why he was like weaker. Like his story's pretty sick. So like he was smaller and weaker than everyone else. He couldn't do one pull up, right?
Mhm.
But he created this. He didn't really create it. He like because jujitsu was around there for a while, like Japanese jujitsu, and the person who taught it to him, um, like he was like a prize fighter, and then he was seeking asylum in Brazil. So he taught the guy's older brother as a favor to the father because like he got asylum and their father was like a
Mhm.
rich person, and then um and then one day his older brother missed class, so then the younger brother who's weaker taught the class, and then the student was like, oh my god, I want to take all my class with you, you're amazing, right? And then like he started to develop a weak man's version of jujitsu, right? Because he couldn't fight big guys. But he's like, no, this will work against big guys,
Mhm.
right? So then he would fight bigger, stronger opponents. And he's like, look, if I can do it, you could do it too. Right? It's all technique. And
Right.
that's what sold me on the idea. But then as you delve into it, it's like so they had a ranch where they all like trained and then people would come and like, you know, but and like they'd like have all these friends and like, it's just like, oh, we're just sharing the camaraderie of martial arts, right? But the problem is they were rich. So it's like, okay, of course you can do martial arts all day if you're rich.
Mhm.
Of course you can offer it for free if you're rich, right? And then this is where the commercialization comes in because it's like, why do you water down everything? Oh, because you need to keep students to keep the place open,
Yeah.
right? And like you were saying this to me where it was like I'd always get disheartened. I'm like, oh man, this isn't really it. And you'd be like, well, yeah, because I'm trying to make money. Like you gotta do it or else you're gonna close. What are you gonna
Right.
do? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So okay. So I think I figured out the solve for this one. All right, we're workshopping. If you're listening to this podcast, like, sorry, we're just putting it down there. It's like top of my mind. So, but it'd be cool. It'd be cool if we like in the future, it's like we can reference this podcast,
Right.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's where it all started.
Mhm.
So, um, okay, so I was driving through Scarborough, and it's just you don't know what little things influence you. Okay, so I was I was going past these units, right? I was thinking about Joe Rogan, right? Because they're like, oh, the Joe Rogan podcast. All the people that talk about it, they're like, he works in a warehouse. From the outside, you never know it's Joe Rogan's thing,
Right.
right? So I'm like, okay, so you don't need anything that's flashy. That's cool. And then I'm not gonna say who because I don't want to give away like the amount, but somebody asked me to like shout out if you're listening, you know who you are. They asked me to review a contract for them because they own a space,
Mhm.
right? And like, oh, like what does this mean or whatever, right? And I was like reading it, I'm like, oh, you're only paying like 2 Gs for a space? Like that's not bad. It's bad. It is bad if like, you don't have that much money, but 2 Gs isn't that crazy. You'd think that like, oh, if you own a space, it's gonna be like, you know, 10,000 a month, something like maybe a giant warehouse, right? But 2 Gs, I mean, sure, there's other, I'm just thinking about
Sure. Yeah.
space.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So 2 Gs is not that bad. And then I won't name this person either, but like this person owns a building and they're charging rent on units, right? And I was like, oh, how much are you charging for the space? And they're like $700. And I was like, that's not bad either, right? But I'm like, oh, but like, there's no idea, you know. Like even during COVID, Tara was really pushing me to like open up my own space. I'm like, I'm not ready. Like I don't even know
Mhm.
martial arts. Like I have this hole in my system, which is like jujitsu. I don't know it enough to confidently be like, this is what you don't need to know. This is what you do need to know. Because I really don't think you need to know everything. And that's one of the things. See, here's another thing. So in my past, like learning arnis, right? I got that black belt really quick. And then, but on my thing, it's like black belt for self defense, you
Mhm.
know? And I was very specific to my teacher. I was like, I don't care about these weird dances. I don't care about partner movements. Just teach me how to protect myself. He's like, oh, that's easy. And then I'm
Right.
like, all right, cool. He's like, I'll give you this black belt for self defense,
Mhm.
right? So like I didn't win any like competitions, like because if you look at Arnis, like it's a lot of like dancey movements. I'm like I've been through that, in my first black belt. It's like you gotta learn all the forms, and you're like, okay, cool, here are the forms. But like I couldn't protect myself.
Mhm.
I had this inflated ego of like, oh, I could totally deal damage, but I'd never hit anyone for real. And then when you watch UFC, you're like, oh, dude, people get hit and they're like not going down,
Mhm.
Anyways, so that that teacher, shout out to you, really showed me that it's like you don't need a lot of moves, right? And then I was reading um, Miyamoto Musashi's book a long time ago, and it said like you don't need many moves to cut a man down. And any school that teaches you thousands of moves is marketing to you. He literally, the best swordsman in the world, said that.
Right.
He's like, yeah, just gotta
Yeah.
kill people with very few moves. Like, what are you gonna do, bro?
That
The
makes
arm
sense.
swings in
Yeah,
so
yeah,
many
yeah.
ways,
Right.
right? And then we're talking about, you and I were talking about it, like, oh, it's just commercialization of the art, right? Like, there are a lot of moves now that you would use in like, all right, let's take jujitsu now, sport jujitsu. There's a lot of moves out there, but you either gotta like keep honing your craft to like there are some crazy inversions, and I've pulled them off myself, but I'm like, I would never use this in the street. So like, if you're on the side, it's hard to explain, but if you're on the side, you can wrap your leg around their leg, and then you do a dive roll, and then when you come out of the roll, you're on their back. And I've pulled this off a bunch of times. I'm like, oh, this is gonna work. Oh, it does work, right? But I was like, but it's not practical.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I
yeah, yeah.
wouldn't just
Right.
dive on this. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
concrete, bro. So what I started testing out in jujitsu, like fun fact, people who are listening to this that go train with me, is like I'm I'm testing out things that I'm like, oh, can I just get up? Oh, I can just get up.
Mhm.
Oh, what are you gonna do if I choke you? Remember I was telling you that? I was just like testing it, like, what are people gonna do if I just choke them?
Right.
So I didn't even do any freaking crazy move. I just put my hand on their neck and was like, choke him. Like, oh, I'm gonna choke you. I did it jokingly though. I was like, I'm gonna choke you. I'm choking you, bro. I'm choking you. And they're like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? I'm like, it's the most basic. Why don't you armbar me? Why don't you kick away? Something like that. But they're thinking sport mentality, right?
Right.
Which is like, this is why I like Gracie Jiu Jitsu, where it's like self defense. Like the Gracie combatives that they taught, the army literally came to this. Again, nobody knew this. I was like telling it to one person who like I partnered up with, and they're like, "What? I didn't know this history." I'm like, "What are you doing here, then, bro? Like, there's a reason why I'm at this school, right?" So like the army after UFC, the U.S. Army
Yeah.
went to the Gracies and were like, teach our military, right? So they're like, well, we can't teach you for like years and years. So like, what do we do? So they came up with like 26 moves or something like that, the most effective 26 moves that you need to know. And then after that, like that's it. That at that point, what they say is like, once you master those 26, it's just jujitsu against jujitsu. You both know what you're doing, so it's like now we're just fighting. Like you're fighting a trained fighter. You know what I mean? But like if we're just on the street, I just need 26 moves. You know? And then so then it's funny because like I keep going back to the same class, and they're like, why are you here? And I'm like, oh, I just want to ingrain it into my like why do I need those other moves? Like I'm here to like protect myself.
Yeah.
Actually, one guy, he calls me a little killer. I love that guy. Shout out to you. You know, you're a Russian tank. He's this like ex state champion from Russia, like jacked, bro. Like his head, like my head is like his bicep.
Right.
I love training with that guy because like he'll give me the real, bro. He'll be like, no, Ervil, this is bullshit. Use this move instead. And I'll use it. I'm like, oh, dude, I said his name. Shout out you. So like, I'll do it. I'll be like, I'll run up to him after class and be like, it worked. And he'll be like, I know. And like, he taught me this one move. He's like, if you want to choke a man, you don't need to strangle. You push here and you break his neck. And I was like, oh my God, bro. Like, I want to learn this. You know what I mean? Like that's what's like, and he's jacked. So like when I roll with him, it's like I know if it's working or not.
Right.
Sometimes he'll get like a little pissed. Like I caught him one time and he got a little mad, and then he just like used his strength. He's like so strong he can bench press me off with one arm. I'm not even like I'm not joking. One time I was like on him on side control. He's like, oh, all right, get ready, Ervil. Throws me. I was like, what the hell? So like, well, that's not gonna work. You know what I mean? Like that's who I want to fight again. Like if I can show other people how to do this, like gold. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's the point of martial arts. Like this guy's like jacked, you know, and I'm so tiny. Anyways, to get back to it. So yeah, you don't need that many moves. People freak out. I even did this one thing where I was like, oh, I'm gonna air stab you. So like I literally pulled out an air knife and stabbed them over and over. I'm like, oh, you're dead now, bro. And then they were like, oh, what do I do? I'm like, all right, switch. And then we switched, and I kept the distance, pushed away. I'm like, this is what the combatives are trying to teach you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're like, oh, how do you know that? I'm like, why do you think I keep going to the same class, bro?
Right.
You know, like, because that's the point. If it works for the army, it's gonna work for me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so there's an ex Navy SEAL dude who Tim Kennedy. When I saw this video, I was like, yes, you are my inspiration. And there's a bunch of other people like Greg Nelson, stuff like that. They have like firearms training, but I'm like, that's too far for me. Like we don't have guns in Canada, bro. What am I gonna do with that? I mean, like I'll go to the shooting range, but like it's
Yeah.
not as prevalent.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like whatever. Whereas there they need the guns. So this Navy SEAL, what he did is he said, they're like, he literally had the exact same answer as me, where I didn't see this video before, right? I was just thinking about it logically, like, why did I train in Arnis? Because I'm like, well, you need a weapon, bro. Like me against a stronger guy, I'm gonna need a weapon
Mm-hmm.
first. Like you get a weapon, game over. Like we don't need to fight, bro. So that's why I'm like, okay, knife versus knife. Okay, how do I? Okay, now I know how to like defend myself against a knife, right? And so then what happens if I lose the knife? Okay, I gotta be able to like keep you in striking range, keep you off, kick you off, run away, stuff like that, right? Punch you, whatever. Actually, I wouldn't punch because that would hurt your knuckles. And then what happens if I trip and fall or like you grab me and we go to the ground? That's why I left grappling to my last thing, right? Because I'm like, that's gonna be the longest journey, and that's the one that's like just in case I can't run away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we accidentally fall, I need some grappling. But I need wrestling to stand back up. It's not just jujitsu. That's why I like the Russian dude. Cause like he teaches me wrestling. Like he was so our head trainer, he's coming over one time and he was kind of like saying to me, like, I was training with the Russian dude and he's like, oh, do you know how good this guy is? I'm like, oh no. And he's like, in Russia, like he grew up in Soviet Union Russia, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like like
Yeah.
like
Right.
Cold War Russia, right? And so back then, and if, fun fact, his dad owned a wrestling gym, so he's been wrestling since he was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
So like, all right, this is the truth. I'm going to the truth. And then, so like, what happened was he was saying that in that area, it's not like to get to like the because you're so poor, the only way out is to like make it to the next level. So if you want to be champion, especially state champion, you're getting all the killers to come.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you win, that's money for you. And we're poor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
So like him becoming state champion's no joke. It's like you fought killers.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas here it's like state champion, like my cousins are like wrestling champs at their high school. It's like, and I watched the video, I was like, hey, during Christmas, let me show you some moves that the Russian dude showed me. Like you'll just destroy every kid because it's not like a high level of wrestling, but like in Russia, it's like this is your food.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? It's like
Yeah.
you will not eat if you don't get good. So he's really, really good. Anyways, so okay, so we've solved the martial arts issue, right? I need truth, okay? But now the commercialization issue. So if you find out that it's like $2,000 or $700, if I can get a cheap warehouse and then run classes from like 6 to like 9 or 7 to 9, then that's not bad. And if you figure out a different way to pay for it, like if you invest your money or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or if you just put it like, I'm not planning to have kids. So it's like, okay, that money for kids is going to go to this gym. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Mm-hmm.
will offset the cost. And then that way, what I can do is charge a lower fee because I'm paying like hella mad money right now per month. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this is for rich people, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
okay, the name of the place I was thinking about. I was driving through Scarborough, Soulja Club, and all right, check out the reason why I was thinking about Soulja Club. So there are people that like have kind of cliques where I train, right? And there's nobody there that I'm starting to see it though. Okay. If you're listening to this podcast, I'm just totally giving away all my secrets. You're like, oh, you were the silent guy that like nobody thought was paying attention, but the whole time I was paying attention to everything. All right. So fun fact, I've been paying attention this whole time. So there are some people there that have other black belts and I start testing people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm rolling, I start slapping people, right? Not hard, but like they'll put their hand up and then I'm like, okay, let me see how you respond to this. So I'll look like I'm gonna go grab your collar and I'll just touch your face. And they'll be like, oh, damn. and I'll do it over and over and over. And then the ones that kind of like don't like it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop. But then the ones that are like, oh damn, there's a hole here, I
Mhm.
keep doing it, right? And then there's this one dude who's a black belt in I think karate, and so I did it to him, and he smiled because I watched him train in the Muay Thai class. I'm like, okay, you know how to strike, so we're gonna play this game. So I touched his face, and he smiled, and he went for a low kick. So when he went for the low kick, this is something I did to Tara, and so I blew out her knee. But I've been practicing it for a long time. So I let my leg go loose. So basically, like
Mhm.
you're standing like this. He kicks my. If you just watch YouTube, I'm like demonstrating this. So he kicked my leg, and I let my leg go.
Right, right,
Right.
right.
But then I kept my leg in the air, and then as soon as he put his leg down, I kicked the top of his leg so I could break his kneecap.
Eesh.
And he was like, "Oh no, I didn't
Yeah,
kick
yeah,
it
yeah,
hard,"
yeah,
but I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm gonna break this, bro."
Showing it, yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like he's like, "Oh, roundhouse kick to the leg." I'm like, "Okay, I know how to do. I know how to like. I know the defense.
Mm.
So not defense. I know like a smarter counter. I stole that from Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee's the first one to show how you break kneecaps. So and it's crazy because like I tested this in my first martial arts studio. I was doing it to everyone, and I even did it to Tara, and she couldn't walk for like 2 weeks. I ripped all the muscles in her. I wasn't even kicking hard. So what I would do is I would notice that people were roundhouse kicking me, right? And and I was like, wait, if I could time it, if I could stop you like a block, right? If you're throwing a punch, right? If you stop it before it's at the apex of its strike, you've killed all its power. So as people are going for the front kick or like to roundhouse kick, I just kick above the where the top thigh is, and that kills the power. I didn't know though that it also tears all the
Mhm.
muscles in your kneecap. So that's what happened to Tara, and I was like, oh, okay, this is a dangerous move, right? So anyway, so that guy smiled, and then we laughed, and I'm like, I want to train with you more. So all the people that like, are like, I wouldn't steal them away from this gym. I'm just saying like I need training partners
Right,
to be
right,
like
right.
what works, what doesn't work. You know what I mean? So like, I was saying like how jujitsu is very clicky. So I'm like, maybe I could create like a goon squad. Like I want to be called like the goon squad basically,
Okay.
and like it's all the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
goons. Like
Mhm,
when
mhm.
we roll, like there's one guy. So I won't say his name, but he knows who he is. And this guy has like he claims to have like an orange belt in Krav Maga.
Okay.
Like, all right, whatever that means. But he's also doing jujitsu, so he loves it. But he knows because he follows me. So he knows that I have other martial arts. And like we started doing it. It wasn't until he followed me and he realized my level of skill that he started playing this game more. He'll throw spinning kicks. I'm like, oh, okay, we're playing. So he'll throw like a spinning kick, so I'll throw one back. And then like the main instructor watches one time and we were just going like ham, bro. We're like, okay, we're gonna fight for real. No, like controlled.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
obvious. Like he was like we're gonna use like all of our tools. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Whereas most people are just like, why are you guys doing that? They're like, bro, what do you want to do? Like what you just wanna like when people make this joke where they're like, you want a hug? You guys are just a bunch of huggers.
Right.
That's who those people are.
Mhm.
My sister, like she'll send me all these videos of like actually not just my sister, everyone in my family, they think jujitsu is a joke because they're like, oh, you're just hugging people. Oh, you're just a hugger.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know
right.
what I mean? Like, oh, come on, bro. Those memes where like you get like the picture of the dude on his back and then they're both smiling and it's like it looks pretty you know, like
Yeah, 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 yeah,
looks
yeah,
it looks a
yeah.
little,
Right,
you know
right,
what I mean?
right, right.
It looks a little intimate. And you're like, oh, this is what you do every 3 days a week? I'm like, no, bro, that's not what I want to do. So, anyways, so so she'll send me these videos of like these jujitsu people being like, when somebody breaks into your house and you have a brown belt in jujitsu, come at me, bro. They'll like lie on the floor, like just mount me, bro. Mount me and watch what happens. And you're like, no, man, I'm telling you, if I just pair it with other things, like I could really mess people up.
Sure, sure.
Like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is a last resort. I'm not gonna lie on the ground, man, and just be like, mount me, bro. You want to fight? You
Mhm.
want to rob me? Get on top, and we'll see what happens. No, if somebody's gonna rob me, I'm gonna grab my freaking knife or like a stick, and then if like we lose it, I'm gonna kick this guy. Like, bro, get out of my house! Kick, kick, kick.
Yeah. But that's
You
that's
see,
the
you see the
lesson of the.
logic now.
No, no, I get it, but that's the lesson of the meme, though, right?
Yeah, yeah, true. Well, for me, but like jujitsu people get so mad at that, and I was like, come on, man, it's true
Well,
though.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah,
what are we
that's the
doing
point.
here? You know? There are some like moves that I refuse to do in jujitsu because I'm like, that's just weird, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a north south. All right, so okay, so there's this. Okay, I think I was telling you this. So we were learning kimuras, right? There's a it's hard to explain. But basically, they're on the ground with their arm like this, like 9-degree angle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
but the problem is you're sitting on the dude's face.
Okay.
Your bum is on his face,
Mm-hmm.
bro.
Mm-hmm.
Every time somebody does that to me, I'm like, oh man, like I'm not gonna tap, so I'm just gonna roll. I'm just gonna turn my face.
Right. Right. Right.
But I'm like, you realize your nuts are on my face, right? Like this is just rude.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
people will do some weird. I'm like, you will never catch me in that. And if you do catch me in the position, it's a transition move. I'm not holding that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna
Mm-hmm.
step over or something like that's weird, bro.
Right. Right.
Actually,
Right.
what I do now is it's kind of rude, but it's because I don't want to do that weird stuff, bro. So instead of sitting on their face, I hold their face down. So I'm grabbing the one arm and I'm like pushing their face against the floor. Whereas other people would just sit on the face, and I'm like, that's weird, bro.
Yeah. I
Even
guess
if we were
it's
like
a
in
level
a real,
of respect in the other person. Like you know what I mean. Just if you're sitting in that position.
actually, people say that mine's more disrespectful because they're like, why are you pushing his face? I'm like, why am I sitting on his face with my nuts,
Yeah.
bro? Come on,
That'd
what are
be
we
more
doing out
weird.
here?
Yeah.
It looks weird. And the weirdest ones are like when you catch like high level jujitsu people and they're doing it and they turn into the move.
Mm-hmm.
So like what I want, if you sit with your nuts on my face, I'm gonna turn my face this way, right? But the
Right.
problem is that actually makes the move worse for you because you're turning away from the shoulder lock, so you're gonna break your arm. But I'm like, I'd rather break my arm than defend it like this.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I swear, if you didn't see that video, like just watch it on YouTube. The
Mm-hmm.
whole idea is you actually, in order to defend it, you have to put your back to the floor. But by
Mm-hmm.
putting my
Mm-hmm.
back to the floor, I'm literally letting you teabag me.
Right.
Like, what are we doing out here? You will never catch me teaching that move. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, guys, you want to learn that move? You go to that class. Like, we're not doing that here. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, anyways, back to it. So funding. Um, if you can subsidize it with other things and it's like $2,000, $700 a month, then maybe you could charge like $100 and then the people are like, you can let people in for free, you know? And the reason why I want to do that, not everyone, but I grew up in a very OG environment. Like going to Pope was very like, you would never expect who I am now back then. Actually, even I just think about it, I'm like, the people that like follow me and stuff, I don't follow them back, sorry. But like those people were like OG, and then when they follow me, and then they're like, "Oh, like what you're doing, bro? Yeah, you killing it." But I'm like, "No, in high school, you really thought I was a loser, bro." Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't do martial arts. I was like an artsy kid. Like, I liked anime and like wanted to fight, but I was never like actually fighting. You know what I mean? Whereas these people were like legit fighting. People got stabbed. You know what I mean? Like, this is real. And there's one dude. They had a fight club in our. Yeah, there's enough time, so you can't get in trouble for this. So like, there's enough. I mean, there was a fight club in our uh boys' change room, and they would film it. And this one dude fought another dude with a cast.
Oh.
Okay,
Okay.
so then yeah, but they loved it. They're like, all right. So then I watched this video. I was like, oh my god, this guy turned around, hit the other dude with his cast, knocked all of his teeth out. He had to go to the ER, and then they had to surgically implant all his teeth.
Mm.
Bro, that's crazy. And that's why I was like, maybe that's what fueled my desire to fight. Because I'm like, oh, I need to figure out how to defend myself against this craziness. You know what I mean? But like, so anyways, but like, what was also weird too is your demeanor. I never actually got bullied because in my head, I was like, I knew gang members that would fight you. Even though it wasn't fully, like, I didn't know that they would, like, there, like, remember when we set the alleyway on fire? And then, there's enough time. It's fine. Remember when we set the alleyway on fire and then like we all ran. I was the first one to run. I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" And then we all panicked. We all ran. And then I was like, "What are we doing?" So something snapped in me, I remember I ran back and I started swatting, and you were like Superman, bro. You just like took out your coat. Remember the
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But it was like you don't know how you're going to act until you see the burning building. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like that for me, like I didn't know that people would defend me, but I believe people would defend me, but I never tested it. So I walked around as if like I was untouchable. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I never got bullied, right? So it's mostly mindset, you know, like why people get bullied. But anyways, so with that being said, um, the the reason why I'd want to build it in Scarborough. Oh, I never even said the name. It's did I? Scarborough Soulja Club.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So 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 Goon Squad made me think of Soulja, like soldiers. But like I was like, soldier's weird. Like we're not actually soldiers, but Soulja is like Soul Jah, like soul and Jah is like God. Although there's Soulja Boy, and I had to like first thing I did when I got home was like Urban Dictionary Soulja. Like make sure that it's not just
Something.
Soulja Boy,
Yeah. Right. Right.
right? But so there's a lot of meanings for Soulja, which means like soldier of God, um, base gangbanger. It actually literally means gangbanger. You can use it in a term where you're like, "Yo, be a soldier," and what that means is like, don't let don't let what you don't want to do get in the way of what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, there's a lot of good meanings here, right? And Jah is like God, you know, and like some like thing warrior spirit,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that kind of thing. So anyways, so the reason why I wanted to be in Scarborough, cheap units, the culture's there. Arnis, Philippines, right? So if I'm like, hey, Arnis, they're like, oh, Filipino, cool. Like you can just once you
Right.
tap into the Filipino community, everyone's gonna join. And then like OG people will be like, soldier, yo, I'm a soldier, bro. You know what I mean? Like it's good marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So whereas compared to before Persistence Academy, it's like, what's a persistence? Oh, that's lame. But I can take the ethos of Persistence Academy, because that's what it is.
Sure.
Never give up. Soldier. A soldier also doesn't give up. So it clicked. See how everything's like dominoing? It's like, oh, there's the cake. It
Mm-hmm.
just like got made.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So yeah, so I feel like there's more culture there. There's more OGs, and I really think that that's where the magic can happen, right? Because I train with a lot of rich people, and because it's expensive, bro,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and the only ones that really show that grit are the ones that can't afford it, but pay because they want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's like me. I was like, that's a lot of money. All right, it's an investment. Let's go do this. But then there are people you could tell where it's like, oh, this means nothing to you. Oh, you just want this as a feather in your cap. All right, cool. Because when you roll with them, it's like, meh.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
Chrome Gracie, right? Chrome Gracie said it. It's like, give me 10 minutes and I can tell who you are. Are
Mm-hmm.
you going to give up? Are you weak in spirit? Are you using this as clout? So like, I'm I post a lot on social media, right? But to me, martial arts is not clout. Martial arts is a way of life, and you know this, right? So it's like I can see who's like doing like, oh, I'm a blue belt, bro. I'm a blue belt in this Brazilian jiu jitsu, and then those people I'm like stab, stab, stab. Oh, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like or the panic, like what do I do with this? You know, it's
Right.
like what does that mean then? What does that mean with your, you know what I mean? Black belts are like that too, though. You know, that's why I left the first academy because I'm like, oh, this is not what it was. Like it started diverting towards commercialization. The old school ones, woo, those people were like I posted that 10-year thing, and then this one dude, shout out to you, Graham, because that guy was an OG. He was like, but he wasn't like the most hardcore. Like when we were doing some hardcore stuff, like that was before our time. We were kind of
Right.
at the end of it. But that guy was like, yeah, like he commented like we know like what that time was. You know, it was
Sure.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And like I can't share the stories now, but I've shared them to you in the past. But like now it's commercialization. I want to get away from commercialization. I just want truth,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to make a difference. I don't want it to be like oh, you should be here but you can't afford it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And So there's a way to do it, which is like for us a hobby. He's like he trains pros, and the hobbyists feed the pros.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can't just train pros, or else your gym's gonna fail because there's like what 10 people, 10 pros, but there's like 100,000 people.
Right.
But I'm like, what if I flip it? What if I don't make it about money, and I just train with? I don't want to say train others, but I
Mm-hmm.
train with other people who are there for the right reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
And like you could have like the fitness class, like Soulja Club sounds pretty freaky, but it's like no, we can have like our like fitness class, our mom's class, whatever. But like it's real. What I really want to tap into is the trauma, and that's what really that's what really I think martial arts can do for you
Mm-hmm.
is like redress your trauma, gives you confidence. I mean, like I'm sure there's going to be like OG people who join and they misuse it. But that's like everyone. But the thing is you need an outlet. You need a mirrored example to be like, you could do that. I
Mhm.
wouldn't recommend doing that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, easy for you. You have this gym and you're making people pay. I'm like, actually, I have a full-time job. I'm doing this because I really want to just be here.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to build, like, if you can't find it, you just build it yourself. And I want it to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, the OG people are like, yo, this is sick. And like, how much are memberships? And I'm like, oh, they're this. Like, I wouldn't want it to be like what I'm paying now. I want it to be like maybe 100, 120 a month. You know, nothing crazy. But if they're like, if somebody comes to me and they're like, oh, I really can't afford that, I'm like, all right, cool, man, just jump in. That's cool. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Like those other people will supplement your whatever. You know,
Mhm.
maybe even like registered as a nonprofit. Actually, no, that's hard because you need like board members and stuff. That's too much work. Yeah, but so going back to the trauma, like the thing about the Pope story about the kid knocking out all the teeth. It's like if that dude just had a I have so many stories of like people I went to high school with that like now you're like, oh, that's just trauma, bro.
Mhm.
And like all the people, the thing is you don't get it, you know? I know this is such a long-winded podcast, sorry. But like the people, they don't get it. The people that tell me that it's like childhood trauma, just go to therapy, all this stuff, it's like not always. You know what I mean? Like there's there's this one kid in our high school, public knowledge now. I won't say his name though. So I was in class with him, always sat at the back, came late all the time. Okay, cool. So the physics teacher was like, "Oh man, why are you always late?" He's this Jamaican dude. That was a bad Jamaican accent. And he was like, "Man, you're gonna be nothing in life. You're gonna be nothing." And I was like, "Damn, this guy's just giving it to him in front of all of us." All right, whatever. Turns out, years later, killed someone. Now he's in jail.
Mhm.
He really did not become anything. But it's like, but look at his life circumstance, bro.
Mhm.
You probably have a mom that can barely pay. You watch Top Boy on Netflix.
Yep.
You're like, that's people's lives, man. The dad dies, the mom can't pay. You got to turn to violence. What are you going to do? You need something, right?
Mhm.
So the people need an outlet, right? Actually, there's another guy who does something similar, but I don't know his model. But he's on the Joe Rogan podcast. Anyways, so like if you give them an outlet for violence, it allows them to like release that trauma, you know? And I want to be so good. I'm like my jujitsu now. Like when I started jujitsu, I was like, oh, balls to the wall. I'm gonna like use all my energy and crush you. And then the thing I focus on now, and I don't care if it takes longer this way. I just want to be this good. So when I trained with Carlos, he treated me like a baby. He was like reading my mind. I was like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I could try everything and he made me feel like he was like I was nothing, right? So I think it'd be really cool if, and that's why you need jujitsu, because it's like the only one that's like pretty obvious. If I was like, if like an OG dude was so enraged and you're like, all right, let's take it on the mat.
Mhm.
And then they're like, do whatever you want, bro.
Right.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You know, this guy throwing punches. I'm like, he's like, oh, I can't hit you. Oh, dude, he's holding me in a stranglehold. I'm like, And then like I literally practice this at jujitsu now, where I'll hold somebody in a position. I won't even go for the sub, and I'll just like talk to them. Because for
Right.
me, I'm like, well, one is a police officer, that'd be pretty awesome. But like, imagine that the dude comes in, he's like, I had a bad day at school, blah blah, or like, oh, I need money, I
Mm-hmm.
want to rob somebody. I'm like, all right, let's see what you got. If you're so good, I'll give you $100 if you can tap me out, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy's like, all right, cool. And then like, I'll like hold him down. I'll be like, see, it's probably why you need to train more. You know what I mean? And he'll be like, oh, I can't move. I can't move. You know?
Yeah.
You're like, here, take the $100 anyways, bro. Just go feed your family or something. You know, that'd be cool. Imagine somebody
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
did that to you,
Right.
like made you feel like so small and was like, hey, if you can tap me out, I'll give you $100.
Mm-hmm.
And then like you just give them $100 anyways. And you're like, I'm sure you need the $100, bro. You know?
Yeah.
That'd be so sick. And that's what Helio Gracie did back in the day. But he was rich. So that's the problem. You can do that when you're freaking rich and skilled, you know? But like that's what I want to like reignite into people. And like Scarborough is a great place to do it because there's so many stories of people like that, like low money. And it's like, all right, let's just have a and then the best part about all this is once you know how badly somebody could beat you up, not even beat you up, make
Mm-hmm.
you feel helpless. And that's why I want my jiu-jitsu to make I want to just hold people down. Actually, a lot of people in jiu-jitsu now are like, dude, you're so strong. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And then I'll show them how I'm doing it. They're like, what? I'm like, it's just leverage. Like I can hold down big guys and they'll like get so mad at me. I'm thinking of all these examples. There's one guy, oh my God. So like he's like 6'4", probably 200, at least 200 pounds. We're doing this drill, like hold each other down. All right. And then I was like, okay, ready? Boom. And it was like that, bro. It wasn't even like, and he's a blue belt too. So I was just like, duh, duh, ready? Okay, here, we're going. We went. And then I did it 4 times within the duration. He got up at the thing. He's like, fuck. And I was like, whoa, my bad. He's like, I don't know how you did that. And I'm like,
Right.
bro, that's the point of this thing, man. Because like you look around, everyone's like, struggle,
Mm-hmm.
struggle. You know, it's like no, it's literally technique. I'm using the leverage. You know, but like now imagine that's like, so that guy's rich, you know, and he was upset. But imagine if it was like a younger kid,
Sure.
high school,
Yeah.
don't know what to do, so mad at the world. Then you're like, oh, hey man, it's all good. You know, you have that. Like I'm gonna post this today. Oh no, maybe tomorrow. But it's like the sharper the sword, the greater the capacity for benevolence,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I want to be. Like so sharp that it's like it's like a gear, man. I can work with like a girl and like child, and then be like, oh, you're choking me, blah blah. Oh, you almost got me, and then I can go hard with that Russian dude.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you need those gears, right? But that's
Right.
like the sharper the sword, the greater capacity for benevolence. I'm not gonna break the freaking little girl. Like, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. So all that being said, you think it's a bad idea or a good idea? Like
Oh.
Wob and your brother just thumbs up. I was like, no, guys, I need
Oh.
input. That's why I told you. Yeah.
No, I think it's a good idea. I feel like,
Right?
yeah, I think maybe you don't need to. Can you? I was thinking like renting a space out for like the starting part would be like for like a few hours
Mm.
versus necessarily having it,
Oh, that's interesting.
right? Like
Yeah, that's true.
like I'm just saying like this is how
You
you
no, no,
as a way to as ways of starting, right?
build interest.
Build interest, but it's like you're just doing it for a few hours and you pick specific times during the week when these things are happening, so you're renting out for those specific hours.
That's a pretty good idea too, actually. Yeah, like start like Jared's capoeira dude did that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like this facility, and like he had a classroom, and like they would just meet every like Tuesday or something, and then that would be their. Actually, that's a really good idea. Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's true. I would like the reason why I was thinking about like a storefront or something or like a space is because like you can have like
That's the. I think.
apparel. You
Of
could
course,
sell
yeah, yeah. No,
apparel,
no,
you
but
know?
that would be the eventual goal. Right? Because you're just looking at things like how would you reach to
Yeah,
this that goal, right? That's the thing. That's what you want to get to.
true.
But then you got to look at like you're the game plan basically. So if you can get to the store already, that's fine. But this is what I'm saying. Like this is how you spread out the information, and then it starts to build that way. Then to get to a point of a store point.
Facts. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. The only other thing that's like holding me back right now, finances is like the biggest one. But aside from finances, I feel like my jiu-jitsu is not there yet. I'm still like I'm hard to be subbed, but I don't have that. Like I'm getting there. I could feel it. It's like, oh, it's getting better, but it's not at the point where I'm confident in it. Like with my striking, I'm so confident. I'm like, you want to stand? Let's go. Or like, you want a knife fight? Let's go. But I don't feel that like level of confidence yet in this, like the grappling aspect of it.
Okay. Yeah.
I need, you know, that's why I'm still saying it's like a while away, but I'm just putting the seed now. As I'm a marketer, like, you know, you think about like marketing solutions. But
then in that case, you would start already. Yeah. Then in that case, you'd start saving up now. Maybe you don't need that renting a few hours space. You'd have enough to then have your own location. Yeah.
Yeah, like a down payment. All right, that's a good point. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And I don't know if I'd want to. I'd want to bring in people because it's like, oh, will you be the only trainer? It's like, just you. Only because I'm the only one willing to eat the cost. You know what I mean? It's like Tara's lucky with her All About Me, her like school thing.
Yeah.
All about mental empowerment. She found somebody who's like equally driven for the same mission as her.
Sure. Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like I haven't found anyone yet that I'm like, oh, we're on the same path. Because maybe I'm the only one on this. Like Bruce Lee was another one. You know, Bruce Lee was freaking poor when he died. He made no money off martial arts. He only made money making movies.
Yeah. Oh, right.
So like when I read these stories, I'm like, okay, well, we need to solve that problem. You know what I mean? It's like it should be able to run without me being oh, dude, Trevor Noah. There it is. See, look, it's the cake, man. Like you just like don't know when things are gonna hit. So remember the Trevor Noah bit where he's like, in France, they're not trying to make commission off of your clothing, so that's why they're so rude to you. About, oh, really? You're gonna wear that? And he's like, oh, they're so rude. And like, yeah, because we pay them enough to not have to like be a vampire to your commission. Whereas here in the West, it's like, oh, that was great on you. No, it doesn't. It's just that'll give me more money.
Right.
And I don't like that mentality for it. You know what I'm saying? So like, if there was a way to do this as a passion project, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, I'm done my big rant. Let's move on. Any final thoughts about that? Are you like?
No, I think those are good ideas.
You see it's viable, right?
Yeah. Because I see this. I've seen like other kinds of things, like people trying to help out the community. That's
what it is. That's all it is.
Yeah,
it's really that.
Yeah, and it like when people are busy or have things to do, that's how you also generate less crime.
Yes, exactly. You give them an outlet. You give them something to do, bro. If you're just like at home doing nothing, it's like. And all right, you know what'll actually mean more? So like Kendrick Lamar see, there you go, boom. Man, this cake is just being built. So, or being baked. So Kendrick Lamar, lots of money, right? And I just saw recently that he was at the Compton Christmas drive. Looks so regular. He was like posing with like a baby, probably someone's like kid, you know, a community person, a real community person. Okay. So like I've been at so many places that talked about like in all martial arts, it's like actually this is the most famous. I've heard it like actually 4 times recently, which is crazy. If you want to go far, go alone. If you want to go sorry. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Right. If you know where that's coming from, that's not the first time I heard it. That's a very old saying, but I've heard multiple. Actually, I think even Trevor Noah said that, right? In his bit?
Probably, yeah.
Maybe.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, I heard it again. Yeah, I heard it again. I was like, oh, dude, there it is again. Synchronicity. So, but the problem with that is commercialization. So a lot of people are like, we're a family here. We could rely on one another. You're gonna have this party. We're all gonna know each other. Blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, that's fake, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't know me if I didn't have a membership here.
Right.
If I didn't pay for this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, remember I brought you, like, not even recent examples, an old school example. The barbecue I brought you.
Mm-hmm.
Like that felt like a community though. That one felt like, oh, this is very community-ish. The only problem is it's culty. So that's like also pretty bad, right? It was like you felt it. You were like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty culty though. Like, but that's why we're so community oriented, because we're like, so the problem with that place was this. It was like, nobody will understand you except for these people. This is your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, okay, like, yeah. And then that's why everyone felt like a family at my first martial arts studio. It was like, you were literally telling us that the outside world didn't care about us and only you guys cared about us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Culty.
Yeah.
So for me, I think in the future, if I were to run one of those like holiday things, it would just be like, yeah, just like, it would feel more meaningful if a lot of them were like, oh, I don't even pay for this. You know what I'm saying? I would just be like, yeah, just come, bring your family. I'll probably be antisocial because I'm antisocial. Like, you guys have fun. I'll bring some like food. You know what I mean? And like, we'll just chat if you want. Stop by if you're hungry. Whatever. Like, I would treat it like that.
Right.
It would just be
yeah.
Like a community barbecue, like a Compton, like watching Kendrick's thing. It's like a Compton Christmas party. Is like, no, they're like, wow, these are all your members? No, bro, these are their families. It'd be like, that would be sick, right? Where it's not even, because you're like, wow, you must have a huge membership if all these people showed up. It's like, no, they just invited their family and their friends of family because we said we would have food, and that'd be kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
If it's like, that's real community spirit. But then I would always tell everyone, it's like, I'm just a stop in your journey, bro. Like, thank you for sharing the mat and like helping me learn, but I know you're not going to be here forever, and you shouldn't be here forever. Like, that's my own journey. Like, I'm also not at play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how you keep it not culty. That's the other problem. Like, we got commercialization, cultiness, and incomplete martial arts. So if we could solve all three, it's like, you just found the best solution. And then it's a real, genuine, like, what do you call that? Like, it's like a real authenticity.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what's the goddamn word? Because I just hate inauthenticity. It's like, yeah. But then what's cool about it too, sorry, last thing. What's cool about it too is, if it's small and you're not really charging people, you can come if you don't. You can come or not come, bro. It's up to you. Like, I'm going to teach the way I'm going to teach, because you see it. We did it at my first martial when I was teaching like 8 hours a day. It's like, I was the only one, and I still get this too, actually, where it's like, actually, I don't even know if I want to put the shine on myself. Actually, yeah, you know what? Because somebody commented on it. So like, all right, so I put like 10 years as a black belt, and somebody comments underneath, you're one of the best instructors. I'm like, I know, because I just care about like teaching you martial arts.
Yeah.
And I still do it, right? So like when I go to, fun fact, now you'll find out also why I go early. It's like, for me, not only am I repeating the movements that I want to learn, which are like keep me safe, every time I go there and they partner me up with someone, I'm like, fingers crossed, I hope I get partnered with a skilled person, right? Because then we could just like practice the moves, and I could like really practice, right? But it doesn't usually happen. And what they do is the same thing my first martial arts studio did. They paired me with a new person. And the reason why is because they're like, this guy is going to give them the best experience, and they're most likely going to sign up. Because they know how gentle I am, how I just let them do the move on me. And I'm like, but that's a real teacher, bro. Like, I genuinely want you to learn this skill, which is also Helio Gracie. Going back to him, like, that's what he really wanted to do. And like, I don't even stick around for the thanks. as soon as the thing, like they'll be like, all right, class is over. And then I'm telling you, like my success rate's like 100%. Every time I'm paired up with somebody, even if they've had multiple classes, they're like, this is the best class I've ever had in my life. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm really teaching you how to do the move, bro. Like a lot of people just like grab the wrist, turn, da, 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 da. But I'm like, I'll like see where they're lacking. I'm like, do it on me, like more. Okay, fix this. And then like, because you need to feel, you need to feel where they're breaking the arm, bro. Like if it's not gonna work, then like,
Sure.
okay, let me make it better. Oh, okay. See how if you pull me, and they'll rag like the Russian dude. He's like, oh, you like that first class, eh? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you beating up a lot of people, eh? And I'm like, no, I'm actually getting beat up a lot. If you look at that class, I'm like the rag doll for my partners. I'm like, I'll even tell them. They're like, you want to do me? I'm like, no, I'm just your crash test dummy for this whole class.
Right.
Because like for you, I'm treating this like a private class. You know, this is how I'm going to teach it at Scarborough Soulja Club. It's like I genuinely want you to get better, and like you could feel that authenticity. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But then it's like if you don't like that, if you don't like that, I have to make you do real things. Why are you here? Like this is real. You know what I mean? Where they're like, okay. I've seen, how am I gonna phrase this without seeming like a dick, bro? Okay. I've seen people rank up who I'd be like, oh, you'd be killed.
Right.
Oh, you'd be killed. So why the best person I have ever heard say this, and like you're a jerk, bro. How are you gonna say that? No, I'm gonna say I'm not. It's not even me. Faraz Zahabi. You're gonna tell Faraz Zahabi he's wrong. Go to Montreal right now. Tell him to his face he's wrong. He'll kill you, right? So this guy, best line I've ever heard. You harm a student. I cut it up in posted it before. You harm a student if you give them a belt they can't carry. It's better to be a blue belt killing black belts than a black belt being killed by blue belts. Why? Because jiu-jitsu is tested. People will come to your gym as a drop-in and they will test your whole crew. Right?
So, yeah, that's like
which is true.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. It's like there's like an audit kind of thing. It's like, how well is this?
It is an audit. It's true. It's facts. But you know, people, commercialization of the art. Ready? People are stopping the drop-in. It's not even at like a bunch of studios. Like I've messaged because I just want to feel what it's like. What is your jiu-jitsu like? So I'll message these people like, oh, we don't do drop-ins. Sorry. The only places that do drop-ins, no, they'll kill you. Austin, 10th Planet, Austin, Texas, shouting, oh, dude, Gabe Tuttle. I'm going to cut this up. I'm going to tag you, Gabe Tuttle, because I did a drop-in at your place and you are super legit. Your move worked. I'm like, I go to like different gyms to see what move I can use, right? And like from a practical perspective, I was rolling with this dude. I caught him in the move. Gabe Tuttle, you're amazing. I caught him in the move, and then I rolled it. You were teaching a Kimura trap where it's like you do a Kimura, and then one thing. This is going to be jiu-jitsu speaking. Vish, you're not going to understand what I'm saying. So one thing that a lot of people do is when they catch the Kimura from the bottom, they try and crank the arm. But what you said, Gabe, was you push the arm against their hip, and then you bump. And then because you're so connected, they're going to roll. And I did that in class. And the dude looked at me and was like, how did you do that? And I was like, 10th Planet Austin. Like I always give my teacher shout outs. Like, remember every time I choke like people with, no. When I get people in the Americana from the side, I'm like, that's Carlos Newton right there. That's all he ever did. Right. So like, yeah, shout out you. You have legit jujitsu. All right. Anyways, that's the little cut. So back to it. So those gyms, I went to John Danaher's class in Austin, Texas, allowed me to do drop-ins. I messaged all these places here. Hey, you guys do drop-ins? So we don't do that. And I'm like, oh, because you don't want audit.
Well, then I guess then it makes sense in the way that then you know, right? Which one's allowing drop-ins? Then it's skewing it smaller and smaller, so you know which ones are actually legit and not.
Yeah, facts. And like, but that's what I aspire to. I aspire to allow any drop in. Cool, bro. Sign the waiver though. Just please don't kill me. Like I know we do like weapons in Scarborough soldier spots, so we're not gonna do any weapons drop-ins, but like we'll do jujitsu drop-ins or like off the street. Like you want to test this style? Sure, let's do it. Like the Gracie challenge kind of thing. I don't know if I do that. That's pretty goddamn violent. Depends on the person. Maybe if he was like a really jacked gangbanger. I was at Wobb's party and there was this jacked. He watched us do this rolling session, skinny Filipino kids doing rolling, and there was this giant jacked trucker. And then everyone was like, they watched me go and they're like, yo, you're next, bro. You got to go against him. And I was like, let's do it. I was like, all right, man, I'm down. And the guy was like, no, I don't do that. I don't do that rolling stuff. And I was like, all right, cool. But like that's what I want.
Right.
Where it's like, if you're like tatted to the gills, bro, and you're jacked, like, let me see if it's verifiable. Okay, cool. Just please don't make me go to the dentist. I'm afraid of the dentist. Like, that's also how you have to approach it too. Like, that's also disarming for like an OG. Like, I learned this in high school. If an OG dude comes in, if you beat him to the punch, this is from Blink-182. If you beat them to the punch for the joke, then they got nothing. So I was like bigger in high school, and this one dude, this like, they called him Oak Tree, really big, jacked black dude. And he was like, yo, you fat, eh? You fat, eh? And I was like, oh, damn, this guy's all right. I was like, yeah, man, I like to order pizzas, sometimes put the burger inside the pizza, roll that up into a giant taco and start eating that. It's pretty good. And he was like, so you are fat. I was like, what are you going to say? I'm like, yeah, I beat you to it, bro. Like, oh, what was that? Was that going to be a joke? I already beat you.
Right.
You know? So, like, I think with humor, you can beat somebody to it. So, like, if an OG giant dude came in, he's like, yo, I'll test this place. You're the instructor, you're so small. And I'm like, all right, sign this waiver. We can do it, but please don't break my teeth because dentist bills are very expensive and I'm afraid of needles. He'd be like, what? And then that automatically disarms him. All right, let's roll. And then when I roll, it's like, it's going to be gentle. You know,
sure.
We've been here before. We trained with the Russian dude. That guy's really trying. His Russian dude, oh my God. But I trust the Russian dude. He caught me in an arm. We've been training so much. I knew if I let go of this arm, it's going to be broken. Right. He was cranking to the gills. And I was like, oh, snap. And I was like, well, my only option is to try and pull out the arm and like grab his leg and turn. Right. But the instructor was watching and he was like on his freaking knee. He was like, oh, you know? And as soon as he saw me let go to pull my arm out, the Russian dude hyper extended my arm, but he didn't go to break it. And the instructor would stop. And then like the dude stopped. And then I like looked at the instructor and I laughed. And I looked at the Russian dude. I'm like, yeah, all good. Because we both need, like, I trust you enough. You're not going to break my arm, bro. You know what I mean? But like, it looks really freaky. Like that's one.
Yeah.
If you want to, you're taking that home. You know what I mean? But I know you're not going to take that home. We know. We both know. Still hurt though. Like I'm still hurting from the hyperextension. But anyways, like nobody from the street's going to be that good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
right. Yeah.
You can't accidentally get somebody. If we're boxing, oh dude, no, we're not boxing. You can get an accidental punch in, and I'm KO'd.
Sure.
But there's no accidental submission in jiu-jitsu. Like you have to know the setup. And if you know the setup, if I start rolling with you and like you're a jack dude, I'm like, whoa. You train? And he'd be like, yeah, I train in this place. I'm like, yo, I train here too. Free membership. Boom. You just disarm that dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make sense? It's like, as soon as, if I start seeing him set up an armbar, I'm like, whoa. You're not a normal person.
Right.
And then we have a conversation about it. Yeah. And then I offer him free training. And he'll be like, why do you want free training? I'm like, no, I want to learn from you, bro. Like, you're who I want to train with. Made a friend. Authentically made a friend. Because I'm genuinely like, I need you to kill me, bro. Like,
right.
So I get better.
Makes sense.
All right. Anyways. Thank you. All right. It does make sense, right? It's not because like when Tara, like during COVID, she's like, start a gym. Like, no, it doesn't make sense yet. But this is all making sense. It's like, actually, I can see how this would work, you know?
Yeah.
Or else, like, if I started a gym without a job back in COVID times, it's like, now I'll be begging people, please pay this membership. I need to raise my prices. But you're right. But if you can do it in a way that's like I can subsidize it with my own money, just train here because I want you to kill me.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Anything else? Any caveats you're like?
No, I think it sounds good. Yeah.
Cool. All right, awesome. What are we at? That was the longest.
That's 1 hour.
All right, perfect. We still have time. Okay, cool. So tell me about Rebel Moon. Yeah.
It's like kind of like all of his movies in it, but I can see why the reviews or the ratings were a bit on the lower side.
Is it bad?
It's not that it's bad.
Zack Snyder?
Yeah. It's not that it's bad.
Okay,
it's
cool.
that like how we needed the Zack Snyder's cut. We need a Zack Snyder's cut.
Rebel Moon cut?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Just cause like
it's one of those.
Just cause I don't know. I guess Netflix really pushed for a PG-13, but I think that the actual part 1 is like filmed probably more than 3 hours, right?
Oh
like,
my god!
The movie's like 2 hours something, but his actual cut, his director's cut, with making it rated R. If you can get all that done and give it, then it would be because you basically it's like a village, and it's kind of like it reminds me of all of his movies, right? It's also like Batman going around trying to recruit warrior class of people to protect the village. Yeah, to protect this village. So I liked like the beginning aspects. I liked the story of the main character, but that's the only one that they could really have time to explain because he's the main character. But like when they go to another planet and they get this other guy or this other person, this other lady, it's like we don't know who. Like, I feel like there's parts of the story that's missing because of the time that they wanted. That if there was, if I can get extra 10 minutes for this character, then I'll know this guy's backstory. I don't know the backstories of all the characters, but it's also in 2 parts, right?
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. It's like how the Snyder cut. When you first watch that movie, you're like, oh, it's kind of weird. But then when you watch like the multi-episode part, it actually fleshes out. It makes more sense.
Yeah. Totally. And I think that's what's
interesting.
That's what's like I think that they were I hear that they might be releasing a longer version and a rated R version, which I think they should just done it in the first place. Cool. So if that does happen, I would watch that. Right? That will give you more backstory to the other characters that she gets to join onto their team, right? So,
is it real? Oh wait, no, sorry, sorry. My brain is my brain's like one step in the last thing and then one in this. Is it real? The rating, the
the current rating that's out right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's 3 out of 10. There is something there, but if there's a way to wait for, or if you get official news that there's a rated R version and a full like director's cut coming out soon, I'd watch that. I'll wait for that.
Okay.
Because
do you think it's a marketing ploy?
Because it's a viewpoint. Yeah. You're gonna get views for this, then they're gonna release a director's cut, then you get views for that. So yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I noticed that that's becoming a thing. They're talking about the what was that one where Jared Leto played Joker? Suicide Squad?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that they're like, this will be released soon, the director's cut of this version of the movie, because people are like, oh, it's a terrible movie. So I'm like, why is everybody talking about the director's cut? All because Zack Snyder made that director's cut version, like the fans made it happen. And like now it's like seems like a thing that everyone wants to do.
Like it's in any other Zack Snyder movie. It's just to flesh out some of the characters because you really it's like why all of a sudden this person is there. How did we get to the spot? Right? That's missing. Okay. But I'm just accepting it as like I understand they're looking to hire other people or join their cause, but we don't know anything about their backstory, right?
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's But is it like Dune though? Remember how Dune we were like, what's going on? But it felt like a world. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like you didn't know their backstory, but it was like, oh, that just means that the world is so big. Was it like that, or was it like
Maybe, but because it's a
shit, what's going
new,
on?
because it's like a new. For me, it's just like this whole world is new, right? So I don't know how big this
Right,
world
right.
is or could be. I feel like there could be because they did go to different planets, but we didn't really explore the planets. We would just cut to the, like there
Oh,
was one
okay.
scene. It was like they go to this place, and okay, this guy joins their team like by doing this riding. If you can ride this Pegasus creature, right? But we don't know anything about who this person is. Like, what's his back? Why is
Yeah.
he? Why is he amazing? And then from there, we cut to another location where they're just in an elevator, and there's this lady there. I was like, but who's this lady? What's the backstory of this?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? We just see her fight, and then she joins their cause. But like,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I don't know who
Yeah,
she
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
So like, yeah,
It's like if Batman showed up, you'd be like, what? Why is he got a cape?
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay.
It's like even I think if you
Interesting.
remember
All
like
right.
Batman v Superman, we liked it because we know the character's background. But a lot of people didn't like it because there was those kinds of cuts where it's like when you watch the extended version, they
Oh, yes.
explained why this happened or why you know what I mean. Like there was,
Oh, so it's like a movie for the fans kind of thing.
mm-hmm,
Like, no, I know exactly what you mean. Because we liked the Batman vs Superman.
mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, it's a good movie. But yeah, a lot of people didn't. But I guess that is a good point where you said where it's like it
But
didn't really bridge the gap, so you're confused.
yeah,
If you're just like a novice watcher.
exactly, yeah. And I think that because this is all
What
new characters, we don't. This is a whole new world, right?
yeah,
All I'm
yeah,
doing,
yeah.
all I from my mind, I'm watching it. I like Zack Snyder. I just like the art style, but like I'm accepting these things because I know that there is a Zack Snyder's cut. Like, there's got to be explaining some of these
Mm.
characters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. Do is it actually like good quality though?
I think so. Yeah.
Like okay. Okay, cool. Because I haven't watched it. I was going to watch it, but I was like, do I really want to kill this time? Because a lot of people said it wasn't that good.
I'd say like, because I keep hearing that I think they're going to be releasing Zack Snyder like the longer version of it and rated R version. Because some of these scenes where there's
Oh,
like, because it's PG-13, it's like, oh, there would have been a blood splatter here. Like I can remember like 300 how
oh
that was
yeah,
like.
yeah, yeah.
So
I
like,
see what you're saying.
oh, that would be. I see how there was filmed and there's like blood missing. It's like it would be cool to see that as a rated R
Yeah, yeah,
version.
yeah, yeah. So you're saying wait
I would
for
say wait. Yeah, I think
the
maybe they might do something
okay.
like that because part two is like in April they're releasing. So
Oh. Oh, okay, cool. So
so
it's like
if
not
they
even a
have
long
to,
wait. I thought it was
yeah.
gonna be like a year,
So
you
if
know.
maybe in between, like unless there's more official news that comes out, but like if they do release a rated R version.
So what is Rebel Moon? Is like fully just a whole new story that he came up with, or is it source material like you can check
No, I
out?
think it's his own stuff. He wanted to do what I heard was he wanted to do Star Wars, and Star Wars said no. So then this is like you can see Star
Oh,
Wars elements in here. You can see like
yeah, yeah,
the way that the bad guys they look like uh what do you call I don't know whatever like the stormtrooper not stormtroopers but they were like that Darth Vader side team like you know they had like all the
yeah,
uh
yeah, yeah.
army gear type of thing like the way like the black suits and stuff or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like you know who's a
The
bad guy because
generals.
yeah generals they're wearing like what looks like Nazi style kind of
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah
yeah. Oh
gear.
wow, so he really just like ripped them off. He was like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna let me do Star Wars? I'm gonna do this."
Yeah.
Hmm, That's interesting. Okay, cool. All right, then I'll save myself the time. But
Honestly,
hopefully it
yeah.
does come out
Because
soon.
people are asking, or I feel like that's gonna happen. I think,
The release.
yeah, a rated
Yeah.
R version.
Okay.
Because it was shot like that. There was like there would have been blood here for these shots to make more sense.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Hmm. All right, that's cool. It's fully was it bought by Netflix or was it funded by Netflix too?
I
Because
think,
that'll say a lot about.
yeah, I think it's funded by Netflix, right? Just okay, yeah,
Oh,
like because
okay.
Disney's
That's
not
cool.
allowing you to do Star Wars, you can bring that over here. So,
I really like how because I'm looking for something like every year for New Year's. Me and Tara go to the theaters, right? And there's just nothing out. And I'm like, I do like how the streaming services are releasing good stuff that we can like, check out instead of going to theaters. But I heard Napoleon didn't do well though. I wanted to
Yeah,
watch
I
that
saw that
in
didn't do
theaters.
well. There's a Ferrari
You watched
movie.
it?
No, I didn't see it. I saw looked at the
Oh,
reviews, trying to find something to watch yesterday,
yeah, I
which
know.
ended up being Rebel Moon. But
Yeah, I was like,
Ferrari movie's coming out. That's what on Christmas Day, I think.
oh, that's cool. But is that Tara won't want to watch that? It's gonna be boring for her. But like, is it like Ford versus Ferrari kind of thing? Like, I didn't
I
even look
think
into it.
it's. I'll show you the trailer. But I think it's like they were running out of money, then they had to like, you got to make sure
Oh,
you
it's
win
just it's like
these
their business.
races. Yeah, something
That's
to do
cool.
with that. Yeah.
I do like those movies though. Like Shoe Dog was pretty cool. The Nike one,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know. Yeah. Did you watch that? You did, right?
Is it called Shoe Dog?
The I think that was the name of the book. I'm pretty sure it was called Shoe Dog.
You're talking about the Nike one with Matt Damon?
Yeah, and Ben Affleck was in it.
Yeah, I think.
Was it not called Shoe Dog?
No,
The book was called Shoe Dog though.
I think it was like
Oh.
something about Into the Air. I don't remember, something like that. I don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they sourced it off of that guy's
Or Air. It was just called Air,
that guy's
right?
book.
I don't remember now.
Oh, I guess. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. The reason why I mentioned Shoe Dog is Ben Affleck's character in real life wrote a book called Shoe Dog, and I think they sourced that
Right.
book to make this movie. Because like in the marketing circles, like as a marketer,
Mhm.
like people talk about that book as like this is a top. I should read that actually. Yeah, they talk about it as being a top book marketing. Yeah. Anything else about Rebel Moon?
I enjoyed it, I'd say. So.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but like you told me to wait.
Yeah.
So all right, cool.
Yeah. I mean, there were. I would say I'm a sucker for sci-fi, so there's not too many out there. That's new. So.
But also, love. I love movies, but you love movies. You know what I mean? Like, I would say Wob loves movies, but his movies are just like too weird. Some of the stuff is like he'll post, and I'll be like, "Is this a good movie?" And he's like, "Yeah, it was great." I'm like, I'll watch it. I'm like, "This is a weird movie, bro."
Right.
You're kind of on that level too, but like one step removed. When you, what was that movie you sent us? And I was like, "This is a you movie, bro."
Oh, Maestro?
The
Bradley Cooper one?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I was like, what is this? Like, I saw some black and white scenes. I was like, no, we're done here, bro. I need like commercialization. It's too weird. But wait, what is that one coming on theaters or?
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Netflix made.
Okay, so just another one I won't watch. Yeah. Unless it's amazing. Like, if you tell me it's like,
Yeah, I'll end up
good.
watching it soon. I don't know yet when.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they all just come out like at this time? Like, what's
Yeah, that's
going
what
on?
I was
How
watching.
come-
There were some of these guys that I watch on TikTok that are like movie reviewers. Like there's like 10 movies that came out
Oh,
just before the end of the year, just
wow,
now.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Nice. Yeah. Um, do you think movie theaters? I know we talked about this before, but I'm like, I wonder if movie theaters will die. Just the choices, you know.
No,
At first
I
said
don't. I don't
but
think
now
so.
I'm kind of like, I
No,
don't know.
it won't.
Okay,
It
because that
won't.
came up again actually. Like, okay, cool,
Why?
cool.
It came up again.
Oh, because Tara was like, when we were looking for a movie, she's like, are these things just gonna die? You know? Because
No, no, no.
like,
It's just
we could easily just watch Netflix.
it's just the writer strike and
Mm.
and the actor strike, right? So that's what reduces because it pushed a lot of the movies because they're like nobody can do real promotions,
Yeah.
right, for it. So
Right. Facts. That's true. Do you hear about this Willy Wonka movie?
yeah, but I don't know anything
Timothy-
about it though.
Kind of interested. I like that guy's an actor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was him
okay,
in Interstellar
Yeah.
as the kid.
What? What?
Yeah,
No.
the brother.
Who?
Like when they were driving when when they were kids, right? When Matthew McConaughey was driving that truck through the field. He had a son and a daughter. Yeah, it was the son. It was him.
Oh, bro. Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what's really weird about that too? We went back and watched The Devil Wears Prada.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't finish it though. Yeah, it's weird. Uh, this goes to cultural programming. Like this person in Devil Wears Prada, Anne Hathaway's character, she like is so obsessed with her job to like a toxic point, and I'm like, I would never be like that, so we just shut it off. Like, he was like, why am I watching this person's like ridiculous struggle? You know, it's
Hmm.
like just don't answer your phone, bro. Anyways, so Anne Hathaway in that movie, Emily Blunt was also in that movie, and I was like, whoa, exactly.
Okay.
You're like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Yeah.
But like, it's weird to see go back and you're like, oh, these people are rising stars. Like all these stars that you see now, like Emily Blunt. If I said Emily Blunt, you're like, oh yeah, she's done a lot of good movies. She's like with Tom Cruise in that Time movie.
Edge of
She's also in
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Sicario.
Hmm.
Yeah, Sicario. She's really good. And you're just like, wow, she's such a great actress. And same with like Anne Hathaway. You think about like Office Space, right, with Jared Leto, and like you go back and you was Office Space, Workspace.
I don't know. I don't think I watched that one.
Oh, it's Apple one. It's really good. Well, anyway, so Anne Hathaway's really good now as an actress, but you go back and watch these movies, you're like, oh, they were just like regulars. You never knew the trajectory of people's careers, you know,
Hmm.
and then they flourished into this thing, you know? It's like you see the star, it's like an iceberg, right? We see like the stardom now, but like look at all the work that went into making the
Sure.
top of the iceberg,
Yeah.
right? Because like Emily Blunt's character in The Devil Wears Prada was like a B character. It wasn't even like
Hmm.
she wasn't even like the main. So it was like, but right now I would never expect her to take that role. And it's like because she's done with, like, you know, she
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
leveled up,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is interesting. Even that guy Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he was in like 30 Rock or
Hmm.
Third
Yeah.
Rock
Yeah.
from the Sun,
Yeah.
right? So or Ryan Gosling, he was on Breaker High. You're like, oh, now you're a heartthrob. What happened? You know.
Okay.
So it's like to see the trajectories
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
crazy. I said that because we watched Barbie.
Oh yeah, I watched Barbie.
All right,
Yeah.
you know what's, oh you finally watched it?
Yeah, I watched it last weekend. Yeah.
Oh sweet, so did Tara and me. Okay, oh you hadn't watched it before.
No. No. No.
Okay, this will be a new. All right, I was going to talk about this topic, but all right, let's talk about Barbie. Let me just say before you give your opinion. Okay, so when I came home and watched Barbie with, was it your brother and my sister?
Yeah.
Tara's like, "Oh, what do you think of Barbie?" I was like, "It's a trash movie." She's like, "Oh, you don't like women? Oh, you hate women? Oh, okay." And I was like, "Geez, bro, like it's just a bad movie, right?" So she's like, "Oh, Barbie's on. Let's watch Barbie. Everyone's talking about Barbie." Put it on. She's like, "Wow, this movie sucks." I'm like, "Yeah, I told you, bro." I'm like, "Oh, now you hate women." It's like, no, it's just it. She's like, the storyline just it's not coherent, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I told you. I don't hate women. I was just like, what is this movie?
Hmm.
Right? Unless you have a totally different opinion, go ahead.
I think I was actually not that bad.
Wow, this guy loved the movie. This guy loved the movie, eh? You love the movie.
No, I didn't say I loved it.
Wow, I should
It,
move
it,
on with
it,
that.
it was good. It was good. I didn't think it was as bad as
All right,
what you
but
guys were saying.
when the car flipped and he was like spinning, was
but this is a whole made up world, right? I'm not accepting this as like a
oh,
like that.
what?
Yeah, like crossing
right.
in from Barbie Land to
All right.
real world. Like
all right,
this-
ally. All right, ally. You love women. All right, I get it. Totally, yeah. Yeah,
No,
deal with
no,
the patriarchy.
I like
Yeah.
the message. I think the message was good.
No, I like the message
Yeah.
too. But you can objectively be like, this is not a good movie. Like, are you gonna be rewatching? No. You know, here. Let's go back to the last podcast. Wednesday and Stranger Things. Yeah, it was hype, but will it last the test of time?
Hmm.
I don't think Barbie will last the test of time. It's not that good. Like I totally get it. Yes, I'm like pro woman.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know, a lot of the points they raised, but objectively, it wasn't a good movie.
Hmm.
And then one thing Tara was saying is like, maybe it caught fire because people aren't having these conversations. But because we're having these conversations already, it's like, yeah, duh. Like when I watched it, I was like, okay, like I've heard all these things.
Yeah.
But you know what she said? You know what she said? And I was like, this is the exact point that we all brought up. So she's like, I'm sorry, I'm outing you. I'm sorry, I'm outing you on your opinion to Tara.
Oh.
So
Well, I'll say that even Thivia, she didn't she didn't like it by it like that. So she didn't like it. So
okay, cool. There you go. All right. Thank you. So women don't even like it. It's like, all right. Here's the thing she said though, and I was like, this is exactly true, and this is why I also found it ridiculous. They used toxicity to out toxicity the males.
Mm-hmm.
So their solution was to be negative back to the males.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, exactly. There's no like middle ground here. It's not like, oh yeah, that was a problem. We should fix that. Trevor Noah. It's not like you're just like repeating the cycle. Like an eye for an eye will make the whole world go blind. Yes, that did happen. Let's fix it. You know? And that's what the movie is kind of trying to tell you. Like, let's push down the patriarchy in favor of the matriarchy. And then it's like, okay, cool. But then what happens if we go too much in the matriarchy zone?
Yeah, that's why I liked it.
Patriarchy time.
Yeah, that's why it was showing the two worlds. That's why I liked it.
What do you mean?
That we need a middle ground.
That they're both flawed?
Yeah.
No, but they didn't say. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's like a meta high level.
But that's what I got. That's what I got from the movie. That's what.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna be thinking about it on that level. No, that's like you and I being like, oh, society.
So that's really what I'm saying. Like that's why I like. But that's yeah. But this is subjective. So this is what I liked from the movie. This is what I got from the movie.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I will agree with you, but it's like, I feel like it's like you can learn as much from a bad teacher as a good one. It wasn't a good teacher. It was a bad teacher, but you learned something from it.
Yeah, the student was better than the teacher. You can say that, sure.
Exactly, totally. But I don't think there are many students out there. I think there are mostly people who are just watching and be like, I hate men now. And you're like, all right, that's not going to solve this problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. We just hit the wall. They were like, yeah, that's true. You're right. Yeah.
I think I liked the message by the end of it too, because she was still finding herself.
But who? Yeah, but who's really watching it on that level?
I was.
You know, you were. But I think the reason why it was popular is not because I think it's because
that's fine. That's fine. That's not my issue. This is a movie I watched and I got my experience. This was my experience with the movie.
Fair point. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. You know what this is? This is plastic straws. This is let's solve this problem with paper straws. Oh, wait a minute. It's melting. Yeah. And it's really bad for us. Let's bring back the plastic straw. So like you're watching it being like, oh, that's a dumb move. Mm-hmm. Whereas they're watching it like paper straws.
Yeah. Like when I was watching, yeah, exactly. When I'm watching, I'm like, I see a world that's all run by matriarchy or patriarchy. They're both wrong. That's the point.
No, that's a very high level, accurate view. Now, go to a person and be like, you realize that the matriarchy was wrong in that movie, right? They're gonna be like, you're the problem.
No, but but like what happened at the end of it wasn't it was like allowing them to come in and you know, right, that's what's happening in this world, which is women's rights, right? They were able to now vote. They can work. That's what was happening in the other world too. Yeah.
No, facts.
The point was they were also but they were saying the point was that they were also saying that the whole matriarchy was wrong. Because then, if it was matriarchy was correct, then there would be no guys going into those positions in the Barbie world.
High level. Okay, yeah, this is like super high level. Yeah, no, I totally. I get what you're saying. Yes, I get the meld of the two, but like I get what you're saying. But I don't think that's how people took it. I think they're literally thinking of this like paper straws and plastic straws.
Yeah, okay. How you take it, again, that's the personal, individual experience and how you view the world, right? So, of course, people will take it differently.
And this is why we're a herd species, bro. We need like the 1%ers to tell us what to do. Just take my money, enslave me with debt, and just tell me who to vote for.
Right. Like, and then I think, I don't know if people got that message at the end when she goes to the OBGYN, right? what was that
I didn't
trying?
get that. I was
Oh, so
like,
what I think I felt what they were trying to say is because that whole world in the matriarchy, you got to be a doctor, this thing. But then the whole message wasn't there till the end, which was like, it's okay to be a mom too.
oh, okay, yeah, I see that point. Okay, all right. Explain this one to me. How come it took America Ferrera's bashing of the patriarchy to wake up all the women? So it's like you need to fight fire with fire,
Sure, yeah.
and then no, but and then by the end you realize that we're one. I don't know. Like how would you reconcile that from the way you watched it? Like why was it so? I was like, this is so brash, bro. Like I get it. Yes, I get what you're saying. Yes, totally cool. But like, why being so negative about it?
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to be so angry,
Right.
you know. Or maybe she represent. Wow, this is so meta. Maybe she represented the uber feminist movement,
Right.
and the patriarchy's battling back of the uber feminist movement needs to wake up the patriarchy. And then by the end, they found balance because both of them were in the wrong and
Yeah.
they need one another to survive.
Yeah. We need both to
Because
exist or coexist.
we need, we need, so what you're saying is we need males and females in this world.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying, Bish?
Yeah. That's what I got from the movie.
That's not very inclusive, Bish. Just saying. Just saying, we got a multi-level chess game we're playing here, bro. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Trevor
Yeah.
Noah. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. All right. Okay, what time we at?
1 hour 30.
Damn, all right. All right, okay, we'll burn these really, really quick. Because I kept bringing up Trevor Noah. Actually, wait, hold on. Because I brought the plastic straw, I finished the book Countdown. Basically, we're screwed. And I was like, Tara was like, these kinds of books are like negative because they don't give you, they just paint the world in such a bad way. So the reason why our like fertility is dying, and she like highlights it, and it's so true, is like the way we've built up our lives. It's just like climate change. We've over relied on these chemicals, and they're now disturbing our natural way of things. So
Mm-hmm.
one of the interesting things was you have a lower sperm count if you have low testosterone. So they invented TRT. The problem is TRT makes you infertile. So it's like that's a weird loop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the solution is also attacking you. But what she said at the end of the book, the message was that, well, one, the body will bounce back, so that's good, and two, the chemical industry needs to create their own version of the doctor's oath, which is like do no harm. So it's like really, it's the paper plastic straw thing, right? Like it's like you're moving so quickly to this conclusion that you don't realize the ramifications of that conclusion until you reverse it later.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah. Just thought that was interesting. Next thing, Trevor Noah. So, what do you think of the stand up bit?
It was good. Made me laugh quite a bit.
What do you think?
I
Do
think
you
I
think
like
it was
more
like as
the
genius as I thought it was genius, or
uh,
what?
Maybe not as like that. I don't think like you.
Oh, okay. Oh man, I was watching. I was like, oh, you're saying everything that I'm seeing
Mm-hmm.
in this world.
I
I
don't really work
I
around
even
white
told my
people, right? So
this guy just fully outed my seed. Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, facts. It's funny. I was like, I saw my
or
coworker. I was like, just watch this.
Caucasians.
Watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's the same thing though. But yeah, that was a very accurate. I was like, I told my coworker, I was like, you gotta watch this. It's so funny. And then they're like, oh, okay, I'll put it on while I work. I'm like, no, no, treat this as professional development time. Block off an hour in your calendar and watch this thing. And then they did it, and they were like, thank you for making me watch that. That was so true. And I was like, yes. Like, if you haven't seen Trevor Noah's stand-up bit, it's genius. And I think the one thing that really hit me was the Christopher Columbus joke. where like we shouldn't give away punchlines, but I'll do it anyways. Where he was saying that like you can fail upwards. Like this guy got a holiday for getting everything wrong, and that's the power of being white. And I was like, that's true though. I've seen that like multiple times. And then he was saying like, imagine if a person of color swapped that, like did what he did, they would just be like, oh my bad, I'm sorry, like I won't do that again. You know what I mean? Whereas like white males will like double down on it. And I've seen that. I was like, oh, you're right, Trevor Noah. Thank you for pointing this out. But what was weird, what was interesting, I think, about comedy is if you could make people laugh about it, it's like easier. It's like sugar with the medicine. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Because like there were a lot of white people in that audience.
I was
Remember,
about to
like, his
say.
final joke?
I was going to say that.
Yeah, yeah.
His audience isn't black. His audience is white.
White, yeah. And I think that's the genius of it. That's why I love the stand-up special, because like you're educating them to their face, but you're making them laugh about it. And you even pointed out, if you watch the special, like the final joke where they all joined in, it's like exactly like what he's saying is true. Like it's like I proved it to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what made the special so powerful for me, which is like everything he's saying isn't coming from hate. It's literally what's going on. But he delivered it so skillfully that we all laughed, and like now we can think about it better. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other things about Trevor Noah, or like the?
But I feel like that audience would have generally agreed with him in that sense. Just, I feel like his audience is more, I would say, like Democratic leaning, but what he's talking about are more Republican leaning white people.
Fair, but then why'd they all join in at the end though?
No. I think the Sweet Caroline seems like that's like a general thing. But I'm like talking about like the Columbus, the fighting for Columbus or Day. I feel like this is the Republican thing.
True. Yeah. Fair. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. It's more of like a conservative Republican kind of approach. Like the people. Yeah. I agree with you. But it's like, you know what's funny too though about what he said about like the all gender bathroom. Remember he's like,
oh yeah.
Are you gonna check?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And right? And I was like, he's like, if you're gonna check, you're the weirdo.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, yeah, that's true, bro. Like, I had this conversation with somebody actually recently, and we were talking about like because pronouns are a big thing in like diversity spaces, right? And I'm like, whatever you want to do is cool with me. It makes you happy, go do it, right? And I'm like, that's how I kind of look at it. It's like, I don't know what it's like to be you, so I'm just gonna let you do you.
Sure.
Like, I think we said this before, which is like, true acceptance is indifference. I don't care what you do. Just like, don't impede me. I won't impede you.
Yeah. Right.
Like, it gets weird, like with those cases in, it's interesting how he said it was like manufactured by like the bigger issues are being hidden by this like gender issue. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Why are we arguing about gender? Like, look at the freaking inflation, bro. Come on. What are we doing?
Yeah.
But, what I thought was interesting was how he said it was the few and the far between. So it would be an issue for me too if there were like little girls and there was a giant grown man being like, I'm a girl too, so I'm gonna go in the bathroom. It's like, all right, maybe something's wrong here. Like that's a little weird, you know? But that's the few and the far between. I think most people are just like, I just identify as a woman. Like, all right, cool. That's cool for you. You know? But going back to like cultures, Filipino people and like Asian people, Thais, right? They have lady boys. Like that was a term. It's not weird. Like I've seen so many I've seen so many cross dressers growing up. When you go to the Philippines, you're just like, all right.
Right.
It's just like weird for the Western psyche now.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's
yeah. All right. So
like I think he was saying there's always some thing to fight about, right? Like the whole past times, like the gay rights stuff or others. Even before that, is like black people can't use the same washroom. like
yeah, it's for sure, and that is some like ignorant thinking that I think will evolve out of because of the internet. Because like we could watch this special. You got Netflix, bro? Go watch this. Although,
But we always go through the same fight, though.
What are you watching?
Like,
what do you mean?
yeah, like when there was colored washrooms, white washrooms, right? Then people are using the same washrooms. There was still the same fight till it became normal. That's what's going on.
Yeah, facts are facts. No, true. We're in the growing pains. I think it's interesting though, because like you can only suggest that comedy special to certain people. That's what I was like to my coworker. I'm like, go watch this. But like, there's other people. Like I gauge it from what they send. So they're like,
Okay.
there's one person who was like, "Oh my god, I saw the funniest stand-up bit." And I was like, "Ooh, okay, Dave Chappelle. What are you talking about here? Kevin Hart?" And then they were like, I forgot who the comedian's name was. And I was like, "Okay, I'll write that in." So I put it in. It was a white comedian, and his whole shtick was making funny-sounding songs. I was like, "This isn't good stand-up, bro.
Mhm.
Like, what are you watching?" You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not for everyone. Like, how much truth are you willing to absorb? Because that stand-up special can be very triggering to a lot of people. Not like triggering and like, like the way it's being used, but like
Yeah.
triggering in terms of like hurting my own ego.
Mhm.
They're like, "Oh, you're speaking about me." Ooh,
Right.
yeah. But that's the genius of like truthful comedy. I watched Chris Rock again too, because I watched like the
Mhm.
Chris Rock and do you see that Headliners? It's like a documentary of
No,
them
I
two.
didn't. Them two?
Oh,
Oh,
it's a good one.
okay.
It's Chris Rock and
Is it Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and they did like a co-headlining tour, and it's just a documentary. There's no real stand-up in it, but it talks about like the come up of the two, and it was like really cool to see the behind the
Mhm.
scenes. Um, so then I went and watched Chris Rock's stand-up after, and I was like, he was saying truthful things, but again, it's like, how much truth are you willing to listen to?
Mhm.
You know, before you're just like, I can't hear it anymore, but it's like, but it's real though.
Right.
But we want like comfort.
Mhm.
Anyways, okay. Last thing, because we're pretty pretty over time. I'm staying in. Actually, I have a funnier story to lead into this. So I was supposed to go to um, Port Union because Tara's in BC, and I was gonna go to Port Union on like Thursday. Sleep over Thursday night, Thursday, Friday, and like till she returns. Okay. So, but then I had gotten like a tattoo touch up, so I was like, okay, I'll just sleep in. It's like late already. I'll just
Right.
sleep in here. And then I've been reading way too. Athena's at the spa already. She's in Port Union.
Okay.
And so it was just me. And then I've been watching and reading too many alien things. I
Okay.
woke up at like 1:45 in the morning, and I was like, I just go back to sleep, bro. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I couldn't go back to sleep. I just got up and went straight to Port Union. I walk in. My sister's like, I thought, bro, it's crazy. I couldn't sleep. And then I was like, and I had work the next morning too. I was like, screw it, bro. I'm just gonna work. Who cares? And then my sister, I walk in at like 2:45 or something, and
Mhm.
then my sister's like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna come to." You got scared. Aliens? I'm like, "Yeah, aliens, bro." I'm like, I can't right now. It's too freaky. But it's the level of truth, right? And like
Mhm.
I was like laughing about this with my coworker, and she's like, "Do I have to think about your mental health now?" And I started laughing. I was like, "No, it's just what I like. I like to like jump into the truth." You know what I mean? Like, even how scary the truth is, it's like, okay, but it's better to know, like,
Mhm.
at least for me, right? I commit to, like, knowing rather than, like, hiding away from
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
Because, like, my sister's like, you need to stop reading those alien books. You need to
Mm.
stop, like, watching those things. And I'm like, but, like, what's really going on? Like, I want to know what's really going on. Even if it's freaky, like, I'd rather know. So the reason why I'm freaked out now is there's this new special that just dropped on American Alchemy, and it's a book I read about how like aliens are influencing religion, right?
Mhm.
And like a lot of these spiritual encounters could just be an alien encounters, and demons could just be like one type of alien, and angel might be another type of alien. And like before, I spent so much time being like, because I grew up Catholic, right? I was like, no, there's no such thing as the devil. There's no such thing as like angels and demons, right? And then like now with the alien thing, interdimensional beings, you're like, wait a minute, you're telling me that this might be true? And it's freaking me out now because I'm like, because I've always been afraid of ghosts,
Mhm.
because you grew up Catholic, and like like it's like what do we call it? Like the indoctrination of fear, right? That's how they keep you there. Like you don't want to go to hell,
Sure. Right.
and like yeah, but to find out it could be true is like, wait a minute. That's why I want to find out more. I'm like, how true is true though, bro? Like, we need to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that's not really the topic. The topic was that Port Union is such a small village. Did you notice that? Like every time, because I've been spending all this time back there, and I'm like, whoa, this place is tiny, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like not tiny. Like it's obviously like area wise, it's not tiny, but like mentally, it's tiny.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you? Okay, you notice that too.
I think it's more
'Cause
like
people-
once you've expanded your space of the world,
yeah.
like going back to something, it seems smaller.
For sure, for sure, for sure. But what I'm thinking of is like middle America, tiny. So like, I went to the local metro and I'm like, oh, you've been here for years, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like people
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see is like,
Sure.
oh, you could live and die in Port Union, bro. You know what I mean? Like you can like, you can like go to high school there. You can go to elementary, high school. You can skip out in college. You can just work at, the local grocer,
Mm-hmm.
stay there for the rest of your life. And I'm not saying this like a hypothetical. I'm like watching people do it because I'm like I'm going back and I'm like, whoa, they haven't left, you know. And then coming back with like new tattoos, different clothes. It's like, oh, you're kind of weird here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I could feel it when I go there. Do you notice that?
Well,
too?
I guess
You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't really go in the stores enough. I don't know anyone really. To
Yeah, I guess.
That's not really my experience.
No, but like you haven't been to like the metro or whatever.
No.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Never mind. Wow. Well, this guy did not like Puerto
The only
Rico at
thing
all.
that I
He
went to a couple weeks ago
Okay.
before my brother left was to there used to be the eye shop there, like the glasses one, and it's like a food thing now. Like next
yeah,
to the
yeah.
bakery. There's a new one, or a relatively new one. I forgot what it was called.
Wait, what? Oh no, it wasn't an eye shop. The Rouge. It's the Rouge Village Juicer. So you're talking about? The eye
Uh
shop was the martial arts plaza.
no, did they had an eye one beside the auto shop there.
No, it was nails.
Oh, it was nails.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was eyes.
Like
Maybe it was
like
eyes even before. I don't know. Anyways,
oh, maybe
yeah.
there was a Video 99 before too.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was yeah.
We used to rent our videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Uh,
like you don't like. Okay, yeah. Go
that's
ahead.
the only thing I went to, which is that relatively new store for food.
Oh, okay. So you didn't okay, that makes sense then. I guess because I like worked there, like I worked at the bakery, and then like
Mm.
I
Yeah,
like
there's
did
probably a
martial arts
different. Yeah,
there.
probably different for you. Yeah, because you worked there. Because you had seen
Yeah.
people multiple times, too.
Yeah, exactly. I knew that like, and it's like hometown hero stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you go
yeah,
back
yeah.
and like before it would be like, oh, you're the martial arts guy every time, or like
Mhm,
before
mhm.
that was like, oh, you're the bakery guy. Like you were known for like things if you
Sure.
worked at these places, right?
Right.
So like I'm pretty sure, right? Like
That
oh,
makes
you're the
sense.
metro
Yeah.
person, and like that is like weird to me because I'm like the world is so much bigger. It's so mind blowing because it's like, wait, guys, it's not all the rich. Like I used to think, right? I was afraid of the dentist because my dentist was in Port Union, right? And I hated it. And then it's like, oh, there's way better dentist shops around here.
Hmm.
Like my one has like sleep dentistry. They're like the best in their field and like whatever. And you're like, oh, you wouldn't know about that if you didn't leave that area. But people literally
Right.
just like stay in that area.
Right.
And you're like, no, there's a whole like innovation is happening, bro.
Right. I think because I didn't really
Yeah.
I didn't go to only the places there, right? Like even my dentist wasn't near the house.
True.
It was
Yeah,
near
facts.
Fairview Mall. So
Fairview.
yeah, so it was just drive to get there, right? So it's like
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I see your point. it's like if you limit yourself, I think what was really freaking me out was like the people that limit themselves to that area was like
Mm-hmm.
freaking me out because it's like it feels so confining, but almost like maybe it's almost comforting too.
I would say that too.
Because you're
Yeah, I
like,
think it depends on the person, right? People like that. If some people like that, oh, I can just it's a walking distance from my house. So like, there's so many things I can just get done here. I don't have to go to the city. Maybe cities are too scary for you, right? Or it's like you're not comfortable in that kind
I
of
know the
environment.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, facts. But it's funny because like when we used to live there and I'd always go downtown, not always, but like whenever I would go downtown, it'd freak me out because I'd be like, oh my God, this is so big. Oh, people are so gross. Oh, they're spitting. Oh, I can't. I'm so happy that I'm back in my like little
Right, right, right.
village, of like calm.
Oh no,
But then
I think
like
I was the
now,
opposite. I think I like the city.
even still, I don't like the city. I much prefer North York, like where I live right now. It's like amazing. Where we used to both live, it's like amazing. But like, it's just there's just nothing going on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just
Like yeah, you'd only go for like certain events, but I think that's probably why I like the city in that aspect.
there's
Because
more
there's
stuff.
stuff going on.
Yeah, but like I didn't know that this was like a thing. That's probably why I was so. Maybe that's what even fueled my like desire to like travel so
Mm-hmm.
hard. Because I remember so many conversations of like, I can't wait till we get out of this place and we just go see the world. Because I was like, I thought it was this. I was like, there's nothing going on here,
Right,
right?
right, right.
But imagine if I lived downtown. I'm like, no, there's so much going on, bro. Like we don't need to go there. We can just stay here. You know?
Yeah. I think because I had the experience of even traveling too, right? I was able to see quite a bit with family,
Yeah.
and so it's like I think my scale was bigger already. I preferred being around
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. True. Yeah, I see your point. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to really build it in, like build in young that there's a whole world beyond the world that you see.
Hmm.
Because you could just literally get stuck
And some
in
people get
that
like
one
yeah, and for me,
zone.
it's uh like if I go somewhere new, I'm just I like just exploring. But a lot of people don't like that. That's scary.
Oh, yes, it's no
People like
facts.
to
No,
plan
no, true,
things
true, true.
out, right? So that there's an itinerary. But for me, I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
like, let me just go check out this. I'll
Like
just
what would you
walk
do?
over here. I'll walk over. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, no, facts, facts, facts. Actually, wait, no, wait, true, yeah. I like a similar but slightly different one is I like to build a routine in that place. So like if I'm like traveling to a place, I like to figure out where my coffee shop is, wake up before everyone, go walk, and like try and live as if like what would a routine
Hmm.
feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
here?
yeah, yeah.
Because then you get to see what it's like for those people. Because like we're on vacation, so it's like go, 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 let's go to this event. But if you can figure out like boring stuff to do, you're like, oh, this is what it's like if you lived here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, travel is super important.
Hmm.
I think we said that like millions of times, but anyway. Right? It's like the takeaway. Just travel, bro. Just you need to see. But that was the beauty of like Trevor Noah's stand up, right? Where he's
Hmm.
like went to Berlin and France. He was like, oh, there's a whole world outside this world, and different ways of living. Anyways, uh, yeah. What is? I see you like looking at the time, like, oh, bro, are we like so long?
Yeah, almost 2 hours.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Yeah, we'll cut it there. Oh, Christmas is tomorrow.
Christmas Eve.
Crazy. Christmas Eve. You're right. You're right. Who does Christmas anyways? Like, I mean, like
Who does
Christmas
that?
for me is like Eve.
Oh,
No, I mean, like I never think of like Christmas Day is like the recovery from Christmas Eve.
oh, the
The
parties
easiest
happen
way.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
Generally,
who has parties on Christmas Day?
I don't know.
Like that's like a lunchtime thing, but because
Maybe
don't you have to go
this
to?
is
Oh,
the
Boxing Day is a holiday.
yeah. This is the a non-Christian's perspective. I'm talking about me.
You or me? What?
Me.
Oh, okay, okay. Is what?
Parties
Huh?
happen on Christmas Day.
Oh, that's what you thought?
Yeah.
Oh no, maybe it's like a Filipino. Maybe it's a Filipino thing, but like the party happens Christmas Eve. We're having a party on Christmas Day though, because like one of my aunts is working. But
Okay.
usually it's like Christmas Eve. You stay up till like 5 a.m. The next day's to recover, and then you recover enough to go shopping on the Boxing Day.
Oh, okay, okay.
So like Christmas Day is like the recovery day.
Oh, okay. Because I thought it'd be like, yeah, you wake up early to open the presents on Christmas Day, then people come.
That's a white person thing, bro.
Yeah, that's my experience, or that's what my visualization of it is.
I'm giving you the ethnic perspective, bro. That's what we do. We're like, stay up late, recover, go shopping the next day. Whereas like, yeah, no, that is the classical. That is the classical thing. Let's sleep Christmas Eve. We wake up early. You know why? It's because those people don't have a bunch of family coming over. It's like bombard them.
No, I was saying that they do have family come over, but that's for like lunchtime.
Oh, true. No, but you've been to my family parties, man. They're like nighttime till like whenever.
Sure, no, yeah. I know, I get that, yeah. But like,
I know.
I think
like, I'm saying,
I don't think
a West.
Yeah, I didn't think that as like a broad thing. I feel like that was your thing. Like, if you see movies, it's always the other thing. So that's the broader. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah, but what are those people in those movies, bro? Trevor Noah.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, all right. Till next week. Oh, next week will be freaking New Year's, bro. Oh, crazy. All right.
Yeah.
Wow, everything's stacked.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing anything for New Year's?
Don't have anything right now. Plans, I mean.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So I was just asking because of the podcast, but we'll figure it out. All right. Till next week. Take it easy, Vish.
Peace.
Bye. All right. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors: Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, Vish.
Peace.